Okay. Anything come up?
Impatience.
Impatience?
Yeah, like, I can sense when the universe is like to give you something, but like I get impatient and it leads to me dictating how I want the terms of how I want it and not just accepting the certain things that the universe has for me.
Mm-hmm. Is it an impatience for freedom or an impatience for something else?
I think it's an impatience for freedom. I feel like it's an impatience for freedom because I want it so badly and I know it's coming, but I need to just allow it to flow and just allow it just to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And just relax.
Is there something that is sort of like symbolizing your freedom to you that you're waiting for? Like when I get this, I will be free. I'll be happy.
I think it's just knowing that the things that I've been like the energy that I've been putting out and the things I've been working towards, like the goals and the desires, the manifestations I've been working on, knowing that they're coming and seeing signs from the universe.
So you feel like you need this thing to manifest to be happy?
I don't need it to manifest. I know it's manifesting. It's just that it's more so I want it to manifest at the time that I want it,
mm-hmm.
and not allowing it to manifest naturally.
Why?
Because I'm so attached to the feeling of sensing it and knowing that
Bingo.
it's coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're attached to the feeling of needing something to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone relate to that? Yeah. So what if you dropped that thought? That you need something to be happy?
Yeah.
Who would you be if you did not have that thought even appear in your mind?
I would still be myself. I'd still be doing the things that I love to do. So.
Would you be a little more happy though, or a little more free?
Yeah, I definitely would be more nagging voice in my head.
Yeah. So then if that's the case, then how can what you need to manifest be the problem? If you remove the thought, now you're happy and free. So the thought's the problem, right? You guys see how easy that is? It's just this little mind trap every time. We think that like, when I get this thing, I'll be happy. Let's say like a car, right? I want this Ferrari. I might say for years and years, and I'm like, man, when I drive that thing, I'm gonna be so freaking happy. And then I get the car, I drive it, and how do I feel when I drive it? Being totally honest. Yeah, but for the moment I'm driving it, I feel happy, right? It's like a false sense of happiness, but I'm like, yeah, I did it. And then a week goes by and you're back to the same again, or a month or whatever, like the effect wears off. So if the happiness was in the car, which it felt like it was, because when you got it, you felt happy. But if the happiness was in the car, then why did it fade away? Right? You still have the car, but that happiness is gone now. We believed the car had happiness in it, you know? The mind, we bought what the mind was selling, which was that your happiness is outside of you. So we got the car, and then once that mind idea that we need the car to be happy collapsed, then the natural happiness that we already have was shining through unhindered by that belief. Does that make sense? So it's always a trick of the mind. Happiness is only accessible now. Enlightenment, freedom, liberation, you cannot ever put it off into the future. Freedom in the future has no meaning because there is no future. Freedom is a present state, right? There's no freedom in the future, there's only freedom now. So surrender all those ideas. Anything that appears in your mind that would take peace away from you right now is a dead giveaway. It's coming from ego. It's trying to get you on a fish hook. That's how it, keeps influence on you. It has to get you believing in that idea. Whatever it is, I am this, I am that, or I need this, I need that. When whatever that thing is, that thought is, that pops up for you that, it causes me to suffer or feel depressed or angry, whatever that is, stop classifying the appearance of the thought as being a bad thing. Because that's another way the mind keeps you on the fish hook. But if you can realize that it's actually like an opportunity for freedom, it's an invitation to freedom, then you kind of get excited when the thought appears because you're like, sweet, this is my chance to really get rid of this thing. You can't get rid of it unless it shows up, right? You have to meet it head on and give it the right response. And so your mind is only storing what thought patterns it thinks you're interested in. If it thinks you have no interest in something, it doesn't even register. So your mind is really on your side in that sense. It's not your enemy, but the issue is that the mind doesn't differentiate between good attention or bad attention. It just knows attention. So every time you get stirred up, the mind is basically taking that as a cue to say, oh, sweet, this person's obviously really interested in this thought. Let's keep popping it up all the time. Every time it appears, it's got a little bit more punching power behind it because it's got a little bit more of your energy from last time, right? And that's why we spiral out of control the longer we think that thought. So in that sense, the ego is like your own intelligence used against you. So the appropriate response is, if you don't want a thought to be around anymore, you have to stop giving it so much significance. It has to stop meaning so much to you. I like this example the best because we can all relate to it. When you're like walking through the mall and you have those like annoying mall shop people that are like, hey, do you want to buy some perfume? It's like the last thing on earth you want, right? So how do you respond to that? So think about that internal reaction and give that to that thought. That is such a powerful message to your subconscious that, actually they don't like this thought. So next time it shows up, we'll give it less energy, see if they like it then. And it's going to take some time to whittle that down, but you have to stop throwing wood on the fire, essentially. So look at those negative thought patterns. Look at them as opportunities to win yourself back. An invitation to freedom. All of this noise, feelings, thoughts are coming and going, appearing and disappearing. Everything is passing. But can you locate that thing which is not passing? Can you look for that which doesn't come and go? And when you find it, you recognize that you are not the moving parts. Something deeper is there. There is a silence, a stillness. And if you find that within you, you will fall in love with it. The mind says it's dangerous to get rid of your attachments. Who will you be? You'd be like a walking zombie, alone with no story. But if you taste what freedom feels like, even for a moment, you would gladly give your whole life for it. You would even cut off your own arm to keep it. But you don't have to. Freedom is your birthright. Freedom is your real identity. You just have to remember. Can you be free like a little child? No story, no identity, no attachments. And when you surrender all of these things, when you find freedom, you find you didn't actually lose anything, except for some imaginary ideas that never existed to begin with. You traded an illusion for a priceless treasure. The treasure of your own self. No one can betray it. No one can contaminate it. No one can alter it. Nobody can even touch it. It's free like space, forever beyond what can be seen or observed. Its fragrance is like bliss. Its perfume is like joy. So offer your whole heart to God. Just surrender everything at the altar of freedom and say, you can take everything. I don't want it anymore. Because anything I hold on to, the mind uses against me to torment me. And I've had enough. I want to know who I really am. Beyond the surface level, beyond the actor in the play. Who is playing the actor? When you find this place within yourself. You might even laugh, because you'll say, I've always been this. It's so clear. I've never actually been bound by anything. I was just dreaming I was something else.